Oh, yeah, this is just me talking without the chat. You guys are more than welcome to watch and like. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of make it like in the old days when I just talk to myself and try not to put on a show or anything. That way I'm not having to glance at the chat all the time. Not that I don't like the chat, I just want to go live and just speak my mind. This world is not going to be this way. I can remember back when I was a little kid, of course. A lot of you guys can relate to this. There would be there'd be this thing in your mind like, yeah, life's worth living, and my parents love me, and all this. Then you have, go to school, and then you learn all this stuff that you don't really care about when you'd probably be right outside, right? And then eventually, if you're, you might have the kids be making fun of you and whatnot. And you got to make all these grades and blah blah blah, and then eventually you get summer off, and then if you're lucky enough, you get to go swimming for a while, and then you got to go to college, and everybody thinks, oh, you got to go to college or whatever, or military or whatever. It's all a scam. You find out, and that's just, even when you get experience, it's hard to get a hold of work. And of course, with all the AI and everything coming up, with people living with their parents and all the inflation, it just goes to show you that a lot of stuff that goes on in this world is completely unnecessary, and it's all corrupt. And you start to realize that after you've been screwed with enough. And you're going to have all these voices in your head. You're going to be thinking that, oh, there's something wrong with me and blah, blah, blah. But there really isn't. There's nothing wrong with you. Drink my coffee here, y'all. I just rather, I think it'd be better for me to do a live where it's just me talking without the chat, just this one time. I've done that before. I've also done a live where I'm just keep it silently running. I don't want anything happening in my channel because people scrolling off or whatever. I mean, how that stuff, everything's so regulated. Let me pour some more coffee here. People are just trying to make you feel bad. Anytime anything. Let me go inside here. I don't want to talk to you. Anytime anything ever makes you happy, I could take a walk while I'm doing this. We're all coping in this rabbit hole matrix, right? Parents brought us into be a slave to paper money. Anytime anything ever makes you happy in life, it just seems to, the matrix, the people in it, they just seem to want to bring you down, make you feel miserable. It's just not the same as when I'm really talking to myself, guys. I'm sure you guys can relate. It seems like every time you try to be real, people are just, we don't want to listen to Black Holes Live. We'd rather play video games or whatever. There's so many people that are suffering just because they don't have enough money or whatever. They don't have, I'm just going to come out and say it. They don't have money. They don't have a job, and they can't survive in this world. I see 6 people are watching. Thank you for watching. The chat is disabled for this live. It's just me talking. In fact, I'm not even going to look at the viewers. I'm just going to talk. They have all this money, and they could easily help. And there's all these people that are suffering out there, and they don't help them. In fact, YouTube will probably even get on to me for saying this stuff. It's like, you got to be a slave, and if you're lucky enough to have something that you actually enjoy doing, then yeah. But most people are just going to be suffering and just scraping by. And they get upset because they can't do what is expected of them. They want to do well, but they can't. Because either they're not qualified or they're not good enough for somebody's eyes. It's ridiculous that you got to have somebody else. Oh, I got 2 likes, thanks. Couldn't help but look. It's ridiculous that you got to have somebody else there to approve you, to say if you're worthy of providing for yourself. You can't just live and be you. And of course, there are those people that do sit down and they are creative and they do come up with things. They write books, they paint pictures, they sing songs, or whatever it could be. They try to cure diseases or whatever. It's endless possibilities. But for the average person, it's just scraping by. And if they're lucky enough to even have that creative potential after all that schooling has beat it out of them over the years, then most of the time it's about competition and make somebody else think that you're worthy of their praise. Somebody who's, this person's better, that person's better. Somebody getting on YouTube trying to make a really nice life for everybody. But, in the end, it's all about who approves, who thinks somebody is better than somebody else. And the other person just gets thrown away, led astray. So, What is the point of living a life like that if you can't even, people having to die in wars, people having to defend something that probably isn't even worth defending anymore. Everything's so high, people just aren't there for each other. People aren't doing what's expected of them anymore because they see how rigged the system is, how much of a scam it is, and they don't want to deal with it. And they're tired of talking about it. They're tired of getting on here and trying to make somebody listen or feel better. I mean, they can talk about all they want, but it's just a sense they're just saying the same things over and over and over and over again. Nothing ever changes in life. And you're always going off into your room when you've had a bad day after work. So, God damn it, I hate my life. This is a stupid, dumbass existence. Why can't I just get on? You know, I'm going to talk like you guys aren't even there right now, like it's just me. Why does life got to be like this? I'm tired of having to live like this. Why do my parents got to talk to me like that? Why do I mean, I did everything I could, and you're the one that walked up to me and did this. And yeah, how many of you guys talk to yourself? I mean, come on. I know I don't have the chat going, but how many of you guys talk to yourself? And then it's like, oh God, he's so upset. You damn right I'm upset. You don't want to see how upset I can get. But you're not supposed to say nothing other than just yes, sir. And, you know, in your mind you might be saying F you, but oh God, I'm supposed to be so happy about the fact that I got to slave my life away for you know, birdseed. If even that. And before the mousetrap snaps you. Fucking, oh my God. I'm holding coffee in my hands. All right. There. And then you're dead. And you can't come back. A lot of people think that death is it. And then you don't, you know, nothing happens after that. And I fully understand that. But at the same time, how can everything just exist without coming from something? Is everything just oblivious? Is everything just, excuse me. Is everything just out in the universe? It's just from, you know, coming from nothing. I find that hard to believe. There's got to be something connected to everything. And anything that would create a system where everybody has to be a slave, yes, I would have to call that evil. But what if people are just taking it upon themselves to benefit off other people's suffering? It has nothing to do with this creator or whatever. Maybe people themselves are the creator of their own stupid existence. And everybody else has to suffer because, oh no, we don't want to lose our lives. Well, who remembers us to be born in the first place? I don't want to sound dark, but, you know, if you're going to live in misery, I'd rather not exist at all. And all this sadness about somebody leaving this plane, it actually, I mean, dare I say it, I'm sorry for anybody who's lost anybody, but it ought to be celebrated because those people are probably in a better place. I mean, anybody who's born into this world, I mean, they're going to be, that's what we should be mourning. That's what we should be sad about because they got their whole miserable life ahead of them. But anyway, guys, it's very hard, even when I got the thing playing, it's still hard to talk to myself the way I would really talk to myself if it was just me by myself. I see that the viewers have reached 0, but at the same time, even though you guys, I'm the, you know, just YouTube, I've had that happen where it just shut off on me right away when I was talking on these lives, when I was out walking or whatever. It might have been the connection, it might have been YouTube just telling me to shut up or something. I don't know. But I don't know why they call it YouTube if you can't just be yourself and say what you want to say. It should be a platform where everybody can interact with each other and talk whatever it is they want to talk about. And this day and age, I think the thing to talk about is how unfair everything is and how more and more people seem to be waking up, but still there's a lot of people that still seems to be more asleep than ever. So they think of the most unfair generation of them all because we got the baby boomers and you got, you know, it's like, oh, this generation stuff is nonsense, and all these newer generations that pick up the mess, everything based off this financial system that we created. And I still say F the system. But it seems like everything is just there for you, set up for you to fail. Like you could just screw up at any time. I mean, you could really love something, and it's like, and then you get it taken away from you, and then you're forced to do all this crap that you don't give a freaking hoot about, right? I look at this life and all I see is just people suffering and having to go through hardship when they shouldn't have to. It's all about getting a profit off of people suffering and misery. It's all about feeling regretful for making one wrong move and somebody thinking or feeling or saying something that you didn't like and you reacting to it, and everybody's like, oh my God, all these rules and laws and policies set up just waiting for you to, everybody's just waiting for you to screw up. waiting for you to say, oh, no, and so they can call you a baby or you're lazy or whatever. You name it. I can't think of anything that is fair about this world. I don't think fair even exists in this world other than the amusement park kind of fair, where you find rides and life itself is a roller coaster ride. That's all the fair that you're ever going to get out of this fucking life. But that's just off the top of my head, people. One of these days we're going to have to do a really big long live with me just talking to myself and me just putting the phone down and pretending like the phone isn't even there. In fact, we could even try to do that now. Let me I'm actually out in the garage right now, guys. Why does life gotta be so unfair? Why can't we just get along with each other? This is a stupid, see, it doesn't work. It's not the same as when you're by yourself, people. I could stand here and try to bitch and moan to myself all I want, but it's just not the same as when you're actually by yourself and there's nobody there listening. As soon as I end the live, then it'll go back to being just me again. And then I'll be able to talk to myself better. But as long as I'm aware that somebody's listening, it's hard to just sit there and talk to yourself as if no one was there. And then it's like, oh, you got all these voices in your head. Oh, you're so ungrateful for everything. Oh, you shouldn't be thinking like that. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you're barely able to scrape by and you're doing something that you hate or you're broke or whatnot. And you got all these people putting all this stuff against you that follows you for the rest of your life. And you're always trying to figure out some way to make yourself feel as though what you're doing has meaning behind it. But anyway, guys, that's all off the top of my head. I hope you liked it. I'll see you guys again when the time is right. I'm in this thing. Bye.